So hi, good evening. Yeah, team. So today I'll be having a conversation around business growth and the reason why I feel you need to have a good strategy, business growth, and why you need to have a good strategy. Yesterday I spoke I think I'll say a bit extensively around the dangers of trying to make money fast, the dangers, and I used the young chap, Destiny Child, who just lost his life, and the fact that it made me feel bad. And yesterday, I tried talking around the fact that um, money um, is a response to value. I spoke about that extensively a bit yesterday, or extensively, I'm not say a bit, I took about 2 hours, that money is a response to value. And I said, because money is a response to your value system, you can share for others to join. I said, if we see money as a response to value, I also mentioned the fact that value in itself alone is not enough, because we can make the mistake of thinking if value is what I need, then once I have value, I should have money. But yesterday I mentioned the fact that, you see, while we are building value, value alone is not enough to provide us revenue, is not enough to guarantee us revenue. I said that yesterday. And you see, the reason for that is this: many a time, what makes you valuable in quote is something that also makes other people valuable. So I said, it is not enough that we provide value, we must be able to have a skill differentiation. Hi, Precious Shines, good evening, good to have you here. We must be able to have a differentiation. And I said, that differentiation is in your skill. So, for example, when we talk about value, for example, we would say, um, talking about the big three or the big five, I don't know what they call them today, we would say Burna Boy, the value of Burna Boy is that he can sing. The value of Davido, he can sing. The value of Wizkid, he can sing. So you realize that they are all singers. But the reality is, if there was ever a show in Nigeria, they may not come up as the best three singers. But there is a skill that differentiates a Davido from a Burna Boy from a Wizkid. There is a skill differentiation. And I said, as an individual that wants to make money, building value is not enough. There must be a skill that differentiates us. There must be a skill that sets us apart. Because if our values are all the same, it means that the consumer or the person that wants to pay can decide to meet anybody to get their needs met. Why would I? Let me give another way to explain that. For a Christian, there is a church you pass before the church you attend. There are churches you would pass to the church you attend. For a lady, you want to make your hair, there are salons you pass to the salon you make your hair. If all the salons will give you the same value, then there is no reason to travel far. It means proximity will be the only currency needed for decision. If they all provide the same value, proximity now becomes the key to winning. Right? Let me look for another way to put that. I remember years ago, I had the opportunity of hearing Baba Adeboye say, one of the visions of Redeem is to be on every street. I think whether it was every 5 kilometers of, I can't remember, but I know there was a meter, whatever he used in measuring it. And you see, when he said that, over time it made sense to me that, oh, Redeemed Church was one of those early Pentecostal churches. And at the time it was coming up as a Pentecostal church, the competition for Pentecostal churches, in quote, was not so much. So the key determinant of which Pentecostal church to attend those days was about proximity. So proximity became one of the things built into the strategy then. So I remember those days. For those of us that if you're a bit older, you would remember those days. How do we, Luxury Farmer, good evening. How do we know a business is growing? By them having branches everywhere. Why did those branches matter everywhere? Because proximity was a key. E.g., Mr. Biggs of those days, they had to be everywhere. Mama Cass, Tetrazini, Tantalizer, because it was about proximity. But today, value is not just about what you offer, it's about what sets you apart. So what brings you to the conversation is what you offer. What makes you preferred in the conversation is what sets you apart from others. I mentioned that. I'm going somewhere with all of this. Then I said, after you have gotten the skill that differentiates you, then number two, I said yesterday, was there must be consistency. You must have consistency. I said that yesterday. There must be consistency. So it is not enough to have what separates you. It is not enough to have what differentiates you. It will not make sense if what separates you is only what you do once in a while. Consistency is key. Can I be consistent in this thing? Can I be consistent in this thing? That matters a lot. Can I be consistent? Is this something that I am doing consistently? So it is not enough to be good at something. It is not enough to have a differentiating factor. Consistency is another big part. Consistency. So, am I consistent in this thing? That's the next question. Am I consistent? That's the next question. Am I consistent in this thing? Sorry, Gambo. Good to have you back. So, am I consistent in this thing? That is the next question. If I am consistent, next is, can you be trusted? You see, why is trust important? You are going to realize that most of the businesses that are going to catapult your life will come from strangers. The businesses that will transform your life will come from strangers. Trust becomes an important element. Trust becomes an important element. These were some of the things I said yesterday. And I said, if we can get these few things right, we are going to grow a parastatal. You are going to grow a business that is actually going to take you to levels upon levels that will move you to places. But I said, as we try to build our businesses, I asked a question. I said, you need to know, when do you want to retire from this thing? You cannot be a farmer for life. When do you want to retire? And I said, there are two ways to retire in business. You either retire by having a succession plan, meaning I am transferring this business to another set of people to continue the business. It could be internal, meaning I am transferring it to family, or external, I am giving it to, what's the name now? Board of directors or something to manage. I said that yesterday. On the flip side, if you don't want to do that, the other option is you can sell the company. You can create a company that you are building for acquisition, which is also fine. But you need to have an exit plan. You need to have, thank you Usman for sharing, you need to have an exit plan. You need to have an exit plan. Now, where I am going today is the reason why your business needs to grow. The reason why your business needs to grow. Now, let me start by saying this. As a business person, you will agree with me that one of the biggest issues you have is, or we have, is money. How do we make more money? How do we generate more money? That's one of the biggest issues we have. Skid Boy, thanks for reposting. How do we make more money? Obina, good evening, sir. How do we make more money? How do we generate more money? How do we get more money? How do we get more money? This is one of the biggest issues, right? We are always thinking of more money, more money, more money, more money, more money. And many a time, you realize that when we are not careful, this need of how to make more money can become even a burden in itself. It can become a burden in itself, right? Remember, I made a statement yesterday when I said that there are 3 levels of customers you will deal with. There are customers who are ahead of you already. When I say ahead, meaning their level in life, they are a blessing to your business. Imagine today, I have the opportunity of say, hey, Aso Rock says, come and supply me. That's ahead of me, right? I said level 2 are when I call that vertical selling, upward vertical selling, where you are selling upwards. Level 2 is when you sell to people is not to take care of your products. It's not to take care of the service that you are providing. Rather, it is to cater for the need of the customer. It is not whether the customer came to buy tomato or pepper or not. It is how can I care for you as a customer. Yeah, another way for me to explain customer care is when you go to open market. Let's imagine you have that woman you buy tomatoes from regularly, and maybe for a while you were not around, and you suddenly came into the market or come into the market. Have you noticed that when that woman sees you, her conversation is not about her tomatoes she wants to sell? What makes you feel special is she is not conversing about the tomatoes. Have you noticed? Her conversation is, Lagbaja, where have you been? Hope all is well. Oh, you now say, oh, you traveled. Did you travel home? How is family? You say, mommy is fine. My regards to mom. She has never met your mom. My regards to dad. She has never met your dad. Hope they are all fine. Please, my regards to them. Oh, help me greet them. Oh, we missed you, but hope you are fine. They'll not even put in small prayer. May God continue to protect your parents. So we thank God for Johnny Mercy, so that you have arrived. Though now you will notice that maybe for the first 5 or 10 minutes, they are concerned about you as a person. They are concerned about you as a person. They are concerned about your welfare. They are concerned about your life. They are concerned about your family. It's about you. What they are doing is the real definition of customer care. Because if you sit down, because you are seeing them sell to you, you probably assume you are better than them. You will be shocked that if you sit down and open bank account, they are better than you, or you are at the same level, right? But because they understand that they are selling horizontally, what matters in horizontal sale is customer care. Think about it. How many times have you entered the shop of that customer? You will do customer care by default. And the problem is, for people at that level, they don't judge you based on customer care anymore, because caring is a given. Caring is a given. So you cannot be doing customer care for them at that level for them to be impressed. They are used to eye service. You might be the worst customer care person in the world, but once you know they are the one, you change. E.g., let me give you an example, because everyone may want to argue. Let me look for an example. Imagine you are very tired. You know the way you answer call when you are tired, and you thought it was one of all those rubbish people that like to disturb you that was calling. So as the phone rang, you're like, yes, hello, hello. And the person now says, oh, good afternoon. This is Alhaji Dangote. And you are sure that it is Alhaji Dangote. How would your voice change? If some of you are not even careful, you will stand up from where you are and prostrate. Good evening, Alhaji. Because by default, when we treat people ahead of us, customer care is given for free. So the question then becomes, how then do they judge us at that level? At that level, you are judged based on your excellence in packaging, your excellence in branding, your excellence in comportment, orderliness, most importantly, timeliness, your ability to keep to time, to respect time, to honor time. That is now how you are judged at that level. So as a business, I need to look at what are we really good at. If you look at your business, you will be able to figure out where you are standing and why. Am I standing in a place where I have excellence, timely delivery and all of that? Then I know the kind of customers I will soon start attracting. Or am I at the level of good customer care with a touch of one or two people that their head is not correct in my team? I know where my business is standing. Or am I having people that are just collecting debt? I know where I am standing. There was a post, I think a quote or something I wrote one time. Let me see if I can find it. In my preparation of these years back, we have still not started. I've said I'm still going to take time to do this step by step and make it come out properly. But I hope we get what I'm trying to explain. I'm still going somewhere. Because what I am trying to get us to see is, as a business, you can determine your future yourself. You can determine your future by yourself as a business. Who you serve plays a huge role in where you end. It plays a huge role in where we end as a business. Who we serve plays a huge role. I cannot have custom, because you see, you cannot be serving very poor customers in small scale and be thinking of blowing. Where will you blow to? Where will the blowing come from? That will be very, very hard, and you know that I'm right. So I need to first know that it is better. I can't find this. I know I wrote it somewhere, but I don't know where I saved it. It is better to solve the problem of the rich than focusing on the problem of the poor. But you can use the problems of the poor to build your capacity. If you want to make money from solving problem of the poor, you need to service a lot of people. You need to sell a lot of volumes. But if you to service the problem of the rich, you don't need a billion rich people to be rich. Let me explain that to make sense. Was it I think, is it Louis Vuitton? I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name well. It was Louis Vuitton. I was watching one of their documentaries, and one of the things I realized, okay, it wasn't them that did the documentary. It was another company that was doing documentary trying to talk about brands and the truth about brands. And I was shocked to realize, I think it was a Louis Vuitton's bag that they sell for whether $5,000 or $7,000 that does not even cost them up to $500 to make. See that margin. And one of the things that even got me drawn to the documentary was the fact that they started by talking about the fact that Louis Vuitton said whatever bags they are not able to sell within a time frame of that design, they do not sell it cheap. Instead, they destroy it. So I was curious to know, why would I make something that is supposed to be sold at maybe $7,000, $5,000, $10,000? Now it has finished raining, it don't rain pass. Now, because I was not able to sell it at $10,000 or $7,000, I now chose to destroy it. It scattered my head. Like, I wanted to get to the root of the issue. And the more I followed documentaries and all, I now realized, the reason why they cannot sell it for cheap is because by selling it for cheap, they reduce their brand value. So they either sell it expensively or they discard, no in between. And because I now understood that, I was now more curious to know, have you made your money? Because in my head, I am selling something $7,000, $10,000, because they also have more expensive one of $20,000, $30,000 for a single bag. Why would I make a $30,000 bag because I could not sell it? I go and throw it away, burn it. They don't even throw it away, they burn it. That was the key thing. They burn it so that nobody can reuse it. So I was trying to understand, what kind of crazy business model is this? Why would you do that? And then I now started seeing the reason that, wow. So the key is they have understood that they want to focus on the rich. Yes, Lulup, that's what I found out. They want to sell strictly to the rich. And because they want to sell strictly to the rich, their cost of production is so cheap. It's so cheap. $500, $300, they have made the whole bag. But they can sell it for $5,000, $10,000. So if they made 100 units, 100 units of $10,000 sold is $1 million. What they are selling for $1 million, they probably did not spend up to $50,000 to make it. I'm talking about Louis Vuitton's bag. Louis Vuitton's bag. So, a strategy. That is their own strategy on how they sell things high. What am I saying in essence? If you want to make money fast, whether in this agribusiness space, in whatever business you are doing, selling to the rich is the fastest way to make money fast. Selling to the poor, you need a lot of poor people. To make money from poor people, you need to sell volume. To make money from rich people, you just need to sell margin. I need us to understand this. I'm going somewhere. To make money from rich people, you sell margin. To make money from poor people, you sell volume. So the question then becomes, what is your own strategy? Margin or volume? Margin or volume? What is your strategy? Are you looking for volume or are you looking for margin? I should come again. Let me re-explain that. I want to open a restaurant. Let me use a simpler example that we relate with. I want to open a restaurant. In my restaurant, I want a plate of food because I don't want people hungry. I don't want to making money from the rich, you will sell margin. To make money from the poor, you sell volume. Thank you, man. Because I don't want people hungry, I now say, okay, what I will do is, I love people so much. I don't want a plate of food to cost more than 500 naira because I'm a good Christian. I love people so much. A plate of food should not cost more than 500 naira. And that place of food should have minimum 2 modules of rice, 1 good big meat. Now you will realize that the profit I will be making may not be up to 50 naira per plate. And if my vision is to be rich while selling at 500 naira per plate, I need a lot of people to buy my food. So I am looking at if 1,000 people come to buy my food per day, 1,000 people times 50 naira profit is just 50,000 naira profit in a day. Abi? On the flip side, I can say no, I want to sell margin. So I close my eyes, set up a very fine, fanciful canteen, put in AC so that people's brain can freeze. Then I now say a plate of food is 20,000 or 30,000 naira or even 50k per plate of food. So you come in and eat a platter of food, 50k. In that 50k, my profit may be 30,000 naira. Which means, okay, let's be modest. My profit is 25,000 naira from a plate of food of 50k. Which means in a day, if I sell to only 2 people, I am making the same profit as the person that sold to 1,000 people. Right? Is one person needs volume, the other person needs margin. Now, I am saying it is easier to sell margin than to compete in volume. It is easier to sell margin than to compete in volume. The problem is to sell margin, that's why I started from where I started from. So you see how the thing connects. To sell margin, I need to be able to sell excellence. I need to be able to keep to time. My branding and packaging needs to make sense. To sell volume will come if I can provide depth easily. Volume will come if I have good customer service. Do we see the difference? So now you realize that many a time your business is struggling because you are trying to make money from a place that requires volume. I wanted to say something, but I want to be calm before I say it. You are selling pepper and tomatoes only. What is the profit on pepper and tomato? If you are going to make money with that pepper and tomatoes only, it means that with your pepper and tomatoes only, you need to be ready to sell volume to be rich. Yes, quality over quantity for the rich, while for the poor is quantity over quality. You are selling pomo, you are selling yam, you are selling beans. These things, most of the time, you need volume to break even. I'm going somewhere, I think it was on Instagram. I was able to write the, sorry, not on Instagram. On YouTube, I was able to write the topic. What I am trying to discuss today is, what's it called now? I call it building business growth. How to grow your vision. How to grow your vision. Because you see, the problem many a time is our vision is too small, so we are waiting for more money than the vision can provide. Our vision is too small. We are waiting for the vision to provide more money than it should be providing. I am selling pepper and tomatoes, and I am saying, Lord, this year I will sell in billions. Do you know how much tomatoes you need to sell to make profit of billions? Do you know how much tomatoes we need to sell to make profit of billions? Are we together? So it means that our vision needs to change such that we understand that where I am was a start point, but that is not the end. This was a place I needed to start from, but this is not it. Thank you. Good evening, Mubarak from YouTube. This is where I am starting from, but this is not it. You know, there was a place I went to and I told them to give this example. I think somebody met me. I was like, Baba, that's when you talk, pay me. I told the person, I said, think of what you are doing right now. And be honest, think of what you are doing right now at the level that you are playing right now. This was the question I asked them. Think of what you are doing at the level that you are playing right now. Will that thing give you enough money to buy a car? Will that thing give you enough money to build a house? Will that thing give you enough money to say, I am leaving an inheritance for my family? I will pause for us to think about it. But at the level that I am playing now, this thing that I am shares, go and buy stock, go and buy bonds that invest in other people's things. I am sure that there are some of us who have bought stocks, who have bought shares. Abi? Me too, have bought in other companies. Abi? But what you are not realizing is this. The shares that you are buying, the stocks that you are buying, think about it. Who are the people that buy shares? You know, I have taken time to explain the three categories, Abi. The ultra-rich, Abi. The middle class, where most of us playing, and the poor. Majority of those buying the shares and the stocks and all of that are the middle class. Because we are trying to put money into other things so that money will come back, which is not bad. But, the problem is the rich is getting more money. The rich is getting more money to expand their business without a promise of a return. Somebody did get that. Do you know what shares is? If tomorrow now you wake up, you check your stock, whatever, and they say, I think, if I'm not wrong, GT Bank or Zenith is about 68 naira or 70 naira per share. If we wake up tomorrow and they say something happened and Zenith share has gone from 68 to 2 naira per share, are you going to hold anybody responsible? The answer is no. Which means they have created a business that has grown so big that they can lose money and not be held responsible. You just do audits. It is only those that have preferred shares that gets to be paid first in the case of bankruptcy. Who gets what I'm trying to explain? Which means there is a need for you to start thinking, how can my vision become so big that one day I can list my business in the IPO, initial public offer, so that I can start getting funding without a promise of a return? Think about it. When you are buying shares and all of that, the shares that you buy, is there a promise of how much return will come back? No. But you will hear the company has released shares of 50 billion naira, 30 billion naira, share value at 2 naira per share, 20 billion naira, 10 billion naira. They are able to raise money without a promise of a return. They are able to raise money without you having a say on how they run the business. They are able to raise money without those that dropped the money having a say of what they will get back. Are we still together? This is why your business needs to grow. This is why your business needs to grow. Because until your brain believes it is possible, your mind is not going to meditate on how to make it possible. So you cannot develop a strategy for a thing you don't believe is possible. So until you can overcome the impossibility mindset that dominates your mind, you cannot go to the possibility mindset where strategy is developed. The issue is we are still in, most of us still have that mindset of this is where we are and that is where that is. You know, yesterday I took my time a lot to explain the fact that wealth takes time, right? But this is the issue. It is true that wealth takes time, but it is time that seeds are planted in. If there are no seeds planted, over time what you will meet will be bush. Oil palm will take time to grow, but if I don't plant the oil palm today, 4 years later I will not get the oil palm to harvest. Wealth takes time, poverty eats time. So if there is nothing that I am intentionally planting today, there is nothing that will grow tomorrow. There is nothing that will grow. Nothing that will grow until we have a mindset that has a vision. Not just a vision that it is obsessed with. That is when our mind will start meditating before we can start thinking of strategy. Can one use to get the audience? I'm not sure I understand the question. I'm not sure I get your question. I need you to know that your vision needs to be big. Our vision needs to be big. Yes, wealth takes time, poverty eats time. Our vision needs to be big. The problem is we no longer have a lot of visionaries. Yeah, of course, my Oga farmer wants to join. We no longer have a lot of visionaries. That's the problem. We have allowed situation of things beating us away from dreaming big. We have become conservative in our vision. We have become too modest in our vision. As a matter of fact, when you even see visionaries talking, most of the time you tell the visionary, you don't start again, Joseph the dreamer. Life has beaten some of us away from having visions to being in survival mode. You don't use survival mode to build vision. We don't use survival mode to build vision. And the way to build vision is your imagination must first open, not daydreaming. I am sure you know what when I say not daydreaming. You know those ones that will just sit down and be like, as I just work out go now. Make I just see like 50 million for that street. Or as one plane they pass, one politician play, the thing go just blow, the money go land for my compound. Those ones are daydreaming. I'm talking about what is the vision for your business. If you are being sincere, where you are right now cannot grow, cannot build the life you want. You know, day before yesterday also I was discussing and I thought around retirement. And I was talking about how would you like to retire? What do you want to retire you to? I was teaching around retirement plan, building your life of retirement and all of that. What is your vision? Because your vision will affect every other thing in life. What is the vision for your business? Think about it. I was listening to Mr. Sheyi Vodi's conversation one of those days, and he was talking about the fact that how he used to go to a bar with his what's that thing called, Alawi, to go and buy cloth and bring it to school and sell, sew and sell. But he had a vision that it was going to be something big in the future. I might be wrong, but I think he has the biggest, or at least one of the biggest fashion houses today in Nigeria. That did not happen overnight. It wasn't 1 year, it wasn't 2 years, it wasn't 5 years, it wasn't 10 years. But there was a possibility mindset. There was a vision that was ahead. That no, this can be possible. That this can be possible. And I remember when he was talking, he was mentioning some names that I don't know because I'm not in fashion. Of, oh, he saw this here, he saw this there, and he knew it was possible. I remember a while back, I think it was, what's this guy's name? Julius the Genius, Agu, the comedian. I think it was either him or Ali Baba that was speaking, and they were talking about how they started this whole stand-up comedy thingy. How they were watching some guys abroad doing stand-up comedy, and they are like, this is also possible in Nigeria. Another person I was listening to too that was speaking one time, I think that was what's his name? Basket Mouth. And he was saying, oh, he saw how comedians abroad have, oh no, it wasn't Basket Mouth, I think it was AY. How comedians abroad had movie franchise. And they don't just have movie franchise and they are writing for others to, no. They are the star of their own. So I was not shocked when I saw Benji, that's not Benji, Basket Mouth, do something Papa Benji, because that was a parody of what the likes of Chris Rock did with Everybody Hates Chris. The likes of, what's this guy's name? There are many, Dave Chappelle, and a whole lot of others, Pete and Kay. Why? They saw it somewhere. They saw it was possible. Because you don't need to start thinking, okay, what creative thing can I do? What creative thing can I do? While you are waiting for the creative thing to drop, see what others are doing and start asking yourself, can I be this? Can I get to that level? Can I expand my vision to that level? The richest man in Africa today is Alhaji Dangote. Alhaji Dangote started from Agric, selling salt and sugar. He started from Agric. The money from Agric is not what made him the richest man in Africa, or the black richest, or the black richest person. The richest black person. It was not Agric money that made him the richest person. Hello. Hope somebody's getting that part. There is no richest person in the world that made money from Agric. Okay, need us to understand this very well. Agric was where they built the money. Agric is where they multiplied the money. As they were multiplying, they started diversifying quickly into other things. Take time and say, check the sector you are playing in. Has my sector produced the richest? Has my sector, I'm not saying Agric cannot make you rich. I said it don't make him the richest man in Africa. Know the difference. Agric can make you rich, but not the richest. You think I'm now? You they plant tomatoes, they wait 4 months. You they plant cocoa, they wait 3 years. Person when they mine gold, in they wait 2 years, in they wait 3 months. Person when they refine crude oil, is it waiting 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? No. Because the faster you can turn money around, the more richer you become. The more people need what you do, the more money you make. I mean, it's not rocket science. I know some people it's a farmer that is speaking, so I'm not speaking against farmers. I want to start a seed company in Nigeria because I realize that we don't really have a good functioning seed company that we can boast of. How possible is this? No, it is possible. But what you now need to do is start reading about seed companies abroad. Be going from one seed company to the other. Be reading about how they started, don't just check where they are. How did they start? Before you know what is happening, your mind will start telling you how to start. Exactly, gentle farmer. The more people need what you do, the more money you make. So don't just be looking at, where are they? How did they start? Before you know what is happening, your mind starts thinking too. Your mind starts brooding. Your mind starts opening up. Okay, this is possible, this is possible, this is possible. Your mind starts to think, this is possible, this is possible, this is possible, this is possible, this is possible. See, our brain is our brain is a computer. The things your brains can do, you have no idea. The reason why you believe your brain cannot do a lot is because you are not tasking it enough. Your brain is supposed to be one of the organs that eats the most in your body. But for some of us, our brain is super relaxed. Because you don't put it on overdrive. You don't give it information to work on. I don't know how many times you have just sat down and one idea will just come from nowhere. Or you have been having difficulty, you don't even know how to come out of a thing, and your brain will just go and bring the solution from somewhere, somehow. And you're like, I got it. We are not tasking our brain. You are comparing yourself with people at your horizontal level. That's why you think you are fine. You are comparing yourself with people that you are co-broke. So you are like, we are fine. No. We are fine. We are not okay. There is a lot more that our brain can do. Remember that today's conversation is growing your business, vision, growing big vision mindset. I need us to live here today going back to say, okay, I am a tailor, I am a this, I am a that. Sit down and say, okay, who are the biggest guys? Who are some of the biggest guys? Can I find out what they do? Can I go and start reading on how did they start? How did they get here? What were they doing? How did they start this thing? Because by the time you watch, I am telling you for free, before you watch 50 stories of companies that are worth minimum $100-200 million, or minimum making $100 million in revenue per annum, before you watch the documentary of 50 companies, seeing how they started, how they did, your brain will start resetting. Give your brain the overload. Watch it again and again and again. Before you know what is happening, you will start seeing opportunities around where you are. You will begin to see opportunities. Your mindset will start to change. It will start to restructure. You will suddenly realize that the way that you have been thinking was conditioned by the environment that made you believe you have arrived, or that you have tried, or that you have done well, telling you well done. You will now realize that the way you start rethinking, it's not that you are condemning yourself, but rather your brain starts telling you there is more that we can do, and this is where we will take. Thank you, Mr. Christos. We are what we pay attention to. We are what we pay attention to. If you ask people that know me a bit, I am a good football fan, a strong Barcelona fan. I don't know when last I was able to sit down to watch Barcelona match from A to Z. Is it because I don't like Barcelona? No. But if I am taking my time to watch you from A to Z, I am spending 90 minutes of my life watching you make money in your career. But I can spend 90 minutes watching documentaries on YouTube. Because for me, I am trying to open up my mind. I'm trying to understand that, okay, how did you get here? How did you get this big? What did you do differently? How can I replicate this? What do I need to do? So I watch. I see some things I don't understand. I take out that key term. I go and take the key term, put it on Google. If it doesn't make a lot of sense, I put it on YouTube just to understand that key term. Just to understand that key term. To say, okay, what are you people talking about? Say hello to me, so I'm sure that the vision amplifies the action. Thank you, sir. So It is about, can my vision get bigger? Can my vision get bigger? Can my vision get bigger? Okay, hello, Ape. Okay, you want to ask a question, you can send an invite. I know Billionaire Farmer, so my guy came online. I had to accept at once. I'm trying to ensure nobody coming to do Mumu talk. I am not a motivational speaker. I know that. I am a full-time farmer. I was telling them yesterday, for those that joined up, and I was saying, oh, right now, I am trying to, I am trying to diversify. I am trying to diversify my portfolio. I have about 7 years remaining for me to retire. So I need to start diversifying intentionally, knowing that being a farmer will not make me the richest man in the world, or even in Nigeria. So we started first by moving into processing. But that alone is not enough. Oh, that's good, Mawiz. That's great to know. Pleasure to connect. Let me put it in ABC for it to make sense. Our processing capacity is 23,000 metric ton. 23,000 metric ton in a year. 23,000 metric ton is 20. Let's not put it into kg. 23,000 ton. If per ton, I am only able to make 10,000 naira profits per ton. If I can only make 10,000 naira profits, which if you ask processors say that is very small, it means per annum I can make 230 million naira profit from just processing. I only need to focus on volume. You see what I spoke about earlier. But the volume I am focusing on is not volume of people. No, not volume now. I only need to focus on margin. Because my 23,000 metric ton, I am not going to be looking for Iyak Salika, come and process your pepper. Iyak Katokpe, come and process your onions. No. I am going to be focused on companies. And if, for example, I can get company A, who needs about 5,000 metric ton per annum of a particular product, about 25% of my volume is out to just one person. I just then need to fight for margins, and I am fine. But I cannot be, thank you, B2B model, but I cannot take that money and put it again inside agric. No, now. We now need to start diversifying into other places to multiply it. What am I saying? Your vision needs to be big. Your vision needs to be big. How do you grow your vision as we round up? Marvin, please just send me hello or something. We'll get to chat. It's good to meet you. I have not been to Gambia before. But pleasure to connect. It's good to connect. Pleasure. How do we grow our vision? First, number one. To grow your vision, number one, first and foremost, believe that where you are is not the end of what is possible. Number one, tell yourself where I am is not the end of possibilities. Where I am is not the end of possibilities. I remember a few years ago when I was telling people, my mentor, Pastor Debo Onofora, was saying, we are going to one day have one of the biggest greenhouse farms in Nigeria. People thought it was impossible. Today, by God's grace, we have one of the largest, if not the largest, greenhouse farm in West Africa, over 120 acres. So tell yourself where I am is not the end of possibilities. Where I am is not the end of possibilities. That's number one. Like, it needs to be clear. There is still a whole lot more that is possible. There is still a whole lot more that is possible. A whole lot more that is possible. Just a minute. There is still a whole lot more that is possible. That is number one. You need to make that very clear. A whole lot more. A lot more. Let me show you something. I want to read something out for you. I want to read something out from you from internet so that I'm not using my, I'm not trying to overthink it. Some of the richest farmers in the world, so that you understand, some of the richest farmers. There is a guy called Liu Yonghe in China. I may not be pronouncing his name well. Liu Yonghe. He is into production of animal feed. He not being the poultry owner, not being get poultry, not being get goat pen, rabbit pen. They are into animal feed production. Their business is worth $6.6 to $7.2 billion. Baba, there is money. It is possible. $6.6 to $7.2 billion. There is Stewart and Linda Resnick. This is a husband and wife. Stewart and Linda Resnick. They are in the US. How many of you have heard, you'd have heard of Fiji Waters? Fiji Water. They are the owner of Fiji Water. They own a lot of, what's it called? Different agricultural holdings. When you hear, oh, some of our Nigerian men, our Nigerian rich men saying they are going abroad, they have a horse abroad and all of that. All of these horses and all of these things are in their space. They own, there is this farm in Abuja, Almat Farm. They own things like Almat Farm in the US. Their business is worth about $4 to $4.6 billion. Thank you, Amavui's Farm. $4 to $4.6 billion. There is Harry Stein. These ones are into seeds. They are basically into seeds. They don't run the farm. They own seeds. Seeds or CD. 3.5 to $4.6 billion. Then there is Liu Yonghao. Liu Yonghao is into animal rearing, animal husbandry, and feed. Now, let me tell you what is funny. Liu Yonghao and Liu Yonghix, I may not be pronouncing their name well, are brothers. As a matter of fact, both of them started together. At some point, Yonghix, because these are people that I follow a lot. Yonghix said he has realized that the future where they can make good money is in, feed production. His brother is somebody that is passionate about animals. He loves animals. So, because they could not agree, they separated. When the brother realized his brother was making a killing from feed, he had to add feed to his own so that he does feed but also does animal husbandry. So, the brother today is worth about $4.1 to $4.6 billion. Then, there is Qin Yudin. Qin Yudin. I may be pronouncing all their names wrong because I not be Chinese. So please, in case you know how to pronounce Chinese words better, apologies for the murdering of the name. Also in China. This one is the largest pig breeder. The largest pig breeder in the whole of China. It is even argued that it's probably the largest in the world. 2, he is also into selling of foodstuff. He is also into the selling, because you think China is just about electronics. No. Electronics is the relationship we have with them in Nigeria. Ask people in, I don't know if Mr. Billionaire Farmer is still here. Ask people that sells products that are, spices and call this processed thingy. Most of our product goes to China. Then there is Prince Sultan bin Mohammed, Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, they are dairy farmers, milk farmers, as rearing cow for milk, dairy farmers, worth $5.8 billion. There is Beiro Maggi in Brazil, one of the largest soya bean farmer. There is Tony and Ron in Australia, dairy farmers. There is Andrzej Babij in Czech Republic, different agribusiness joined together. Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ tomato? Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ cocoa? Did you hear cocoa farmer name? Did you hear cashew farmer name? Thank you, Farmer Alaba. Most of our product goes to China. Why am I giving us all of these stories and stories and stories? Remember what I said is number one, I need you to have the possibility mindset. It is possible. It is possible. It is possible. In this agric, I can make real money. I can make real money. Number two, in trying to build a vision, you see, what helps our vision is our imagination. I'm not trying to do rhymes, though it rhymed. What helps our vision is our imagination, our sight. Now, why am I saying imagination? I don't want to say our sight because we may not have money to fly to these places to see. But we can use television to help our sight. We can use a screen to help our sight. Because I can use what I see to push what is possible. So the question then becomes, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? This is the time to say, okay, I am going online to check who are the biggest farmers in what I am doing. Don't use Nigeria. No. So I know, see, I used to be there where we say I want to use Nigeria because, the places are different, the deals are different. But what I started realizing when I started speaking to mentors, getting to people, and I realized that when you want to make real money, your money does not speak locality. Your money must be global in speaking. Your production is local. Your consumption must be global. I must be able to connect my production, my local production to global consumption. I must be able to connect my local production to global consumption. Because if there is global consumption, then I can earn in multiple currencies. Which means I need to start reading and seeing what is happening in other places so that I understand what I am fighting. Money doesn't know color of skin. It doesn't. At all, it doesn't. It doesn't. In short, today I did something funny. There is, I'll just speak about it in brief, not in details. Because we are trying to produce a particular thing for a client, today I went around on my own to go and buy product that looks like that of different other competitors. Because I want to test everything so that by the time we come out, what is bad here? How do we correct it? How do we correct it? What am I saying? Check what is happening elsewhere. That your farm is in Okorokoko, that your farm is in Lakatuku, does not mean that when you are doing your vision board, you are looking at Larakuku and you're like, only 10 farms are better than me this year. I need no. You are comparing yourself with another person that is struggling. How will growth come? Because your strategy is to win a fellow struggler. If you are running a race, those days I used to like, what's it called? They call it sprint. When you are running a race and you are 8th on the race and you are thinking of carrying first, you don't focus on the person in front of you only. We are looking at the last person in front. You are looking at the last person in front or the first person in front. The same thing. So you need to get role models. These role models will help your vision. What are you seeing? Go on YouTube. Let me do an. Just go on YouTube. Type. Think of what you are. If anybody give me an example of what they are doing. Let me use my Oga in Gambia. The biggest pepper farms. VHUSH. The largest, I'm trying to type on YouTube. LARO, largest ST. So that you start seeing, because by the time I am checking largest pepper farm, what happens? I start seeing that, okay, the largest pepper farm maybe is not just focusing on pepper. Maybe they have other things they are doing with the pepper that is making them make money. I now start rethinking and rethinking and rethinking and rethinking and rethinking. It helps my mindset. It helps my mindset. It helps how I think. It helps how I see things. It helps how I strategize. So that I am not just big in my own eyes, I am now getting global. I am now getting global. Of what use is it that Farmer Sam has the largest greenhouse farm in Nigeria, but when they are doing greenhouse convention, we are not invited because we are not big enough to be there, but we are just big enough in our place. Of what essence is that? So the second way to grow your vision is look at what others are doing. Number 2, who are the biggest? Who are the best? Don't compare yourself with the shrubs. Look at the stars. Look at the stars in the space. Look at the guys at the top. Those are the people to look at what they are doing. Because what happens is it helps your mind to open. It helps your eyes. Now, don't just watch it once and leave. Watch multiple versions of it. Keep watching multiple versions of it so that it permeates from your consciousness to your unconsciousness. It leaves your consciousness where your mind tells you, I wish I could. I don't know if you can see the screen. Can you see how big? Okay, I think this can show me the screen easily on YouTube. Can you see how big pepper farms are looking like? Let me see how to do that on here. I want you to see how big these pepper farms are looking. Let me move a bit closer to the screen. Because we need to start having a possibility mindset. See how big. I need them to show the farm itself. To see how big. Don't share the vision, because when you share the vision and you are talking to somebody that can help you enable the vision and they are asking you, okay, how will this thing happen? You will start blabbing and they realize that you don't know what you are saying yet. You come across as somebody that does not know anything. You just look like a daydreamer. You just look like, this one not know anything they talk, Jarina, just visioneer. So you give yourself time. It can take 1 month, 1 year, 2 years. When the thing starts connecting, by the time you start talking, you are like, okay, I'm trying to do this. And they're like, so how will it happen? You're like, oh, if this is available, we do this, we do this. Like, wow, this guy is a genius. No, your brain has only had time to take the impossibility to reality, or to take future possibility and connect it to reality and allow you speak to it. and allow you speak to it. Your vision needs to change. Your vision needs to change. If you watch, take your time and watch some of these videos online, you will see why we cannot export bell pepper from Nigeria. That's cohesio, because the war is a lot. Think, open your mind and think possibility. Open your mind and think possibility. In Nigeria, we have always believed that, until one cable pass front of your house, or they throw one mast 3 kilometers from your house, you not go get network. Elon Musk has changed that, bro. Right now, he's saying, he's creating a satellite thingy that very soon you will be able to take your phone without SIM card and connect, and you'll be able to still do what you need to do. Exactly. Say nothing until your brain can translate that vision. It has connected that vision to where you are, meaning where I am right now is small. But my brain has been able to connect the big future to my small present, to my small reality. So that when I am speaking from my small reality, but there are connected dots, connecting dots to the future I dream of. Give your brain time. All your brain needs to be able to connect is give it enough information about the future. It is very, but in trying to see what they went through, what you then start seeing gradually is, there is a whole lot more possible for you. There is a whole lot more possible for you. You are using a whole lot of pepper. Export. Like, I've not been to Ghana, but export. Process it, export it. Export to, okay, I don't know Gambia so well. I was going to say export to be a cheaper place to start from before you now start thinking of processing. So we will stop here. We've taken a long time today. For those that want a replay, or you want people to be able to get it and replay, they can visit my YouTube page. I recorded it also on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining. I hope we learned a thing or two today. Today's conversation is on vision. Building vision. Vision. Building vision. Building vision. Okay, I will check our private chat later. Building vision. That's our chat or conversation today. Thank you everyone that joined from Togo, Mawis all the way from Gambia. Thank you, the guy from Jigawa on YouTube. Like I said, I want to be doing this as much as I can, maybe every 9:30 p.m. at night for the next couple of days or so, until I'm able to structure it properly. And the goal is, I know I've had a lot of people say, they want to learn from me, they don't know how to learn from me. And because my consultation and all are a bit expensive, that's why I said, okay, we do this, everybody can learn. The choice of TikTok is so that, yes, all the way from Ashero, yes, now you far past. Thank you so much, sir. And the purpose of this is anybody now can join. You can tell friends and families to join. We'll be coming up tomorrow again, 9:30 p.m. by God's grace. Except maybe, okay, yes, every day except weekend. And the purpose of this is anybody can join. You all can learn from me. With TikTok, it is interactive. You can join live, ask questions. We have conversations, and just learn together and grow together. And you can also send an invite. I will accept. And you say, what you're saying is not true. I don't have all the knowledge. Remember, like I always say, I am speaking from what I have passed through. What I have passed through does not have to be the truth. It is just my reality. So that I pass through it does not mean you must pass through it. You need to understand how God and life works with you so that you are able to craft your own reality. You are able to craft your own reality. That's key. That you are able to craft your own reality. That's like the most important thing. The goal is we need you to succeed. Remember what I said. Your company needs to grow so that you can start collecting shares. When you start collecting shares, it means you are raising money without promising anybody any returns. Yes, Seek Farms, it is recorded on YouTube. I will leave it recorded on YouTube. I don't know how to do the recording on what's it called, TikTok, but on YouTube it will still be there. I'll have to try and see how to create a system where but today's one is the first session that was recorded on YouTube, or that is recorded on YouTube. I didn't record previous ones. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you everyone for the gift. Precious Shine, thank you for always joining. Magnus, Usma Gambo, thank you for always joining. Christo, thank you for always joining. No problem. We'll come to Mawiz all the way from Gambia. Thank you. For everybody that joined on YouTube, thank you so much. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much. If you believe there are other people that need to learn, let them know 9:30 p.m. We are live. They can join, they can learn, they can ask questions. I mean, like I said, I feel the conversation can also work for people that are not in agric. The only difference is most of my examples will come from agric. And sorry, I will try and keep to time tomorrow, 30 minutes tomorrow, so that it's not taking too long. I don't want it to be long, but today's zone, I wanted to really lay a proper foundation. That's why I took time today from 9:30 to 10:30 to 1 hour 30 minutes. Normally, it was not meant to be this long. I wanted it to be just 30 minutes maximum. So tomorrow we'll try and keep it short. But I made today's zone long because I needed to lay a proper foundation for our conversations going forward, so that when I'm saying I need you to dream big, I need us to understand why I'm saying dream big. I understand the place of contentment, but I also know that you can be content while growing big. Contentment is being appreciative of where you are, but it does not stop you. It doesn't mean stay where you are. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And have a great night, everyone. Depending on where you are in the world, have a great night. Have a great day. Thank you.